Okay, hi. People were asking about, what are they asking about? They were asking about sourdough bread and getting a starter. And yeah, you can freeze the stuff, okay? So we got the sourdough starter frozen up here somewhere. No, that's not it. Ah! That starter? Sure looks like it. There's a ton. Well, I think I have it on a different thing. That's right. I think I'll be on to that. Oh, it's in there. Okay. So this must be the starter. It's a hunk of it. I didn't think we had that much. So I actually started. What do you think it is? Oh, it's kind of sour. Yeah, it's sourdough starter. Yeah. Okay. That's that's sourdough starter right there, frozen. When you take it out of the fridge, you leave it to sit for a while. About a day. It takes about a day. Well, it's in the afternoon now, so tomorrow morning we'll come back and we'll do something like that.
I never even thought to ask about that, about like the warranties only being at Henniger.
Yes.
Because when we bought that car, we weren't planning on going anywhere.
Yes.
But it's different now that we're going somewhere.
Yes, but there are places we can go to when we move that we can get that.
Yeah.
Okay, this came out of the fridge. It's dry as a bone because it's been there for months and months and months. And I've let it thaw, which is what you have to do. You just toss her in the fridge, so forth. There's quite a bit of this stuff. And I'm pretty sure this is it. And we just take that, throw it in a bowl. Yeah, that'd be a good bowl because this thing starts to grow quite rapidly. Right, bowl. Oh yeah, this is the stuff. Definitely this stuff. Looks just like it. And toss her in there. Now, the real thing about sourdough starter is you have to expose it to the air. You can't keep a tight lid on it or you get this nice black fungus and it'll be no good. And you got to get rid of it. So I'll just take this, and now that we've had quite a bit of dryness, it's dried out. I'll fight our way into the sink here. I just carefully measure. I'll measure half a cup because I've got one lying around. I wonder if I could put a cup of water in there. Well, half a cup and a half, which is about 3/4. Now we have. Sew it.
Do you want me to put
Sew it.
the sandwich stuff away, or do you want to finish it?
I'll have a sandwich here.
Okay, so there's.
Okay, we mix this stuff up.
Other kind of up. There's just enough for one more, I think.
And get her happening. I'll throw some flour in that as well. Yeah, it takes a couple of days to bring it back after you've frozen it in the fridge. So now we'll take that and head over to there. Head over to yes.
Oh, I see. You're videotaping me.
Yeah. Hi. And some flour. Well, it's good I got myself a stand here. It just falls over all the time. And then we just mix in the flour. I put in equal water and equal flour. Some people put in a little bit more flour than the water, which is fine. This thing will come back beauty. It needs water, flour, and air. Don't put salt in it. And when this stuff starts bubbling like crazy, it's brought back. So, yeah, it's already got the yeast in there, and the yeast survives being frozen. Just cool. Okay, there we go. That's the second part of it. So there's the starter. And which you can store in the fridge. I've stored an awful lot of starter because as soon as this thing starts up and starts going, you get a ton of the stuff. Alright, here we are. Bye, love. Where are you going?
Out here, there, and everywhere.
Okay. I ain't going no place. Alright. Where are we? Right. Cleaning up. Cleaning up lots of water because this stuff sticks like crazy. Okay. So we'll just clean that up and whatever. And yeah, catch you later. Okay, now here's what you got to do each morning. You come on each morning and take your bowl, which we had here, with the, there it is on there, and it's just sitting there. There's not many bubbles on it or anything else. That's the first day after I took it out of the fridge, let it thaw for a day, placed it here in the bowl. There's quite a bit of it, so I'm going to put some of it quite back in the fridge. So I'm going to take this, take my half cup measure, and flour. Okay, we take the flour, right, and stick her in there. Over to the fridge, over here. And you just keep doing that about once or twice a day. Okay? Okay. Take this, we'll stir it back in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, after feeding this, you need to feed your sourdough every day, sometimes twice a day. I should have actually done this last night, and that would have reacted a little bit more quickly. Now you see this stuff will grow like crazy. It'll start really increasing. There's our starter here. You can start with nothing, you just keep doing the same thing. Half a cup of flour, half a cup of water, and just keep stirring it up once a day. Feed it once a day. Now we'll see if I can find you. Something else around here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take another container. Actually, there's two containers. Well, it might be three. No. Yeah, a couple of containers. There we go. And now we can put a lid on it when it's back in the fridge. I'll take about half of this out. Now, you can see how that's done. There we are. Now, where we go? All right, we got some back in there. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey. So I have some in here. About half of it's been taken. I put about half of it back here. This is going to go back in the freezer. Yeah. So we're going to end up needing 2 1/3 cups. So I'll put a bit more in there. Very simple. There you go. And we're back in. And it goes back in the freezer. Won't fall out when I open the freezer door. Okay, let's now keep it clean. As someone said, if we keep it clean, this stuff's the original glue. I've heard some people saying. Much agree with them. Oh, maybe they made a paste in their childhood from flour and water glue, which you can use to make glue for kids to make scrapbooks and use for all sorts of things. It can make very good paper to stick to paper. A good old flour glue. Exactly what this thing's being made into. I don't know what I clean that up after the video. Okay. And that's, once again, take a towel, throw the towel over top of it. Like I say, I'll do that again this evening. Okay, here it is in the afternoon. It's about 5 o'clock now. Now you just do it again. Oh, A little bit of, no, is it a bubble? No, it's all the dirt. What? Yeah, it looks like a hunk of dirt. Okay, it hasn't started bubbling yet. Gotta get a container for the flour. Anyways, again, have a cup. Water. Get a fork from somewhere. Stir it in. That's it, and put the lid back on. Well, it's not a lid, it's a towel. Then toss it back where it belongs. And that's it, till tomorrow morning. Alright, to make this easier, I've got a jar, large jar, put some flour in it. Somewhere in here is a third of a cup. Come on, give me a half cup. It's 3/4, half in the dishwasher. Right, half cup. Oh, it's starting to bubble a little bit. Starting to bubble a little bit, not much. This is the second day. Just to make it easier, so it's more inconvenient. Alright. Back here. Water. Sit. Fork. Whole thing in. I need two hands. Many days I got a stand that doesn't fall over. There. Make sure lots of air gets into it because it needs the air to grow. It needs air, it needs water, and flour. That's it. And keep it clean. And so you just throw a towel over it. Looks like that. Just throw a towel over it. Right. Now, tonight. Okay, towel's over it. Leave it there. And do that about twice a day. So sometime this afternoon or this evening, you got to remember to do it again. Thanks. Alright, that's the end of the second day. Oh. Yeah, that's it. Cover it with a... Hard to do this with one hand while holding the camera with the other. Okay, that's good. Okay, getting a little late this morning getting to it. It's around noon. We can see some bubbles starting to happen. So once again, and where is the ready thing? Oh, there it is. Haha. What is this? This is a third. So I'm going to be doing this more often. So we'll take a third of this stuff. Arc. Carefully, bros. And about a third of water. That's what it needs. Flour, water, and air. Pretty much. Why don't I get a stand? I hear you saying that. And again, we just do this and cover it with a towel. Okay, spot you later. It's budget in a few more hours. Okay. You see lots of bubbles starting to come out. Okay, so okay. One of these things. This is the evening. This is the second day we've been doing this. We take our. I've got myself a jar of flour. Hope that's flour. Yes, it is. Yeah. Plop her in there. Oh, you didn't see that. Oh, well, I got the thing and made the thing, etc., so we can make it. Tossing it in. There's a lot more bubbles this time. We'll see more bubbles in the morning. Okay, catch you later. Alright, here we are in the morning. Third morning. And we can see there's now quite a bit of activity happening and bubbles happening. Basically what you're looking for is bubbles, of course. I poured about half of this out, but it's growing a little bit. So it's just barely beginning to start to kick in. Once again, I'll just pour, as soon as I find the, whatever it is, oh there it is. Very simply, take a cup of that and we dump it into there. And then we take some water while trying to hold this thing. Alright. Where am I? Now I can do this. Alright. And got a fork. And simply, there we are, that's a fork. Alright, over here. And that's what we do, and then cover it up with the towel again. Okay, thank you. Okay, this is the evening of whatever day it is, and now there's a ton of bubbles on this thing. You can see it's bubbling quite a bit. That's excellent. So tomorrow we can actually use this to make some sourdough bread. Well, I'm gonna feed it tonight, leave it for tonight, and we'll go at it tomorrow morning. So 1/3 of a cup. Where's my 1/3 of a cup? Oh, it might be in here. Oh. So what have I done? 1/4 cup, 1/3 of a cup. Still wet from this morning. Oh, Bruce. Awful. Clean your stuff. Ah. Oh, that's got the honey in it. That's where that's from. 1/3 of a cup of honey. Yeah. I remember I made that. Clean that out. Hard. And no, do that easy. I have to hold the camera in one hand. Alright, he really likes water. Gotta have water. And flour. Water, flour, and air. And warmth, of course, it needs warmth. I left that sort of in the sun this afternoon, so that's why it started to take off. And there we go. And we do the same thing we did before with a fork. Now get these things out of the road. Bread everywhere. Alright. I'll take one of these. Alright, now there's a fork. You've seen this done before, and I've whipped it up before. But we'll just do this, cover it, and then attack it tomorrow morning. Okay, spot you then. Okay, we've now taken the lid off this starter. You can see it's growing quite a bit. This is overnight. Lots and lots of bubbles now. And we can see from the side of it a very distinct mess of bubbles on top, etc., etc. And we're just, this thing's now ready to use. So what you want to do is you want to get this thing so that it is really growing like crazy, very active. So it's now what's known as active. It's been in the fridge, it's been frozen, we have brought it back. Took us about 3 days. That's about what it takes to bring it back. And you can just leave this lying around somewhere. But you got to keep using it. So I'll just put some air back into this. That's what it takes. Air, water, and flour. And warmth, of course. It's in a reasonably warm place. Not super warm, but it was warm. I left it in the sun yesterday. That's what really brought it back to life. Now, where is... Now, 1/3 of a cup. That's 1/4. Give me 1/3. Half. Where's the 1/3 cup? Oh, we'll use a half. Bruce, why don't you get a stand? There you go. Yeah, it's about 1/3. Not quite. About there. Sprinkle a bit on there. Yeah, it's bubbling like crazy. Good. There's it. Hot. We all want to use warm water because we're going to actually make bread out of this thing. Heat up. Hotter than that. As hot as it'll go. There we go. Alright. And toss her into there. Alright, we've done this before. Turn that off. Dishes in the sink, that's important. Alright. And we'll just do the same thing that we do before. Okay, now I'm going to let this go for a couple of hours, and then we'll be ready to make some bread. Okay, this works. I hold it up like that and won't move around too much. Anyway, okay, it's afternoon. Well, it's just about 12:30 now. And we'll now take a look at what this thing is. It's bubbling like crazy, so it's really good. So I'll just turn the camera around so we can do this. Okay, so here we are in the corner. As you can see, it's bubbling like mad. It's lovely. It's grown quite a bit, so we know that this thing is very active. You have to be very active when you start. So, we'll toss this here, and we need one of these things, commonly known as a bowl, and we're going to put this into there and everything else. But what I need to do is I actually have a stand, so I'm going to try using a stand for my camera. So just a sec. Okay, here we are. This is our nice bubbly thing here. So we need 2 1/3 cups of this baby. We need 3 1/3 cups of flour, and we need 1 cup of water and a little bit of salt. And all of that goes into the big bowl here, and it should end up being kind of flaky, as we've said before. So here I happen to have, I'll use this baby, and you'll need a knife, and we'll just grab a couple of, one, drop that baby into there. Okay, 1 into there. 2 into there. Okay. He's kind of done. Get her all in there. And a third. Toss that into there. Okay. Flour. 3 of these. 1, 2, 3, and a third. There you go. Steak. Cup of water. Yeah, we use this one. Warm, hot as you can get it. Come on, warm up. There we go. All right. Cup of water, salt. Good enough. Now we need a wooden spoon. Aha! As he said, a wooden spoon. Now, there's about half the frickin' bowl of this thing left. There's a problem. There's a real problem everyone finds with starters. You just end up with so much starter you don't know what to do with it. This will make really good pancakes and waffles if I can find a recipe. Someone was going to send me a recipe. But they didn't. So I need a recipe for pancakes and waffles. I'll just throw some flour onto this thing, toss in an egg, and see what happens. So we'll just leave that starter over there, and you feed it now. You only need to feed it about once a day. All right? You just leave it basically someplace kind of warm and put a towel over it. Do not leave it in an enclosed container because it'll all turn black with the ugly stuff in it. You don't want it to turn black. It'll all fall off and die or something. Anyway, we now mix this up, which should end up being kind of flaky. Oh, we'll end up, yeah, this thing should end up being kind of flaky or whatever. And we'll make a dough out of it. Come on, baby. And we knead it. If you want to knead it, look at the physics of kneading sourdough bread. Oh, it's turning into a... Come on, pick it up. I may need to knead more flour into this, which I've already shown done before. This is not ending up flaky at all. Did I toss in 3? I don't know. Maybe I didn't. This is not looking good. It should be much, much drier than this. I think I've only put in 2. All right, we'll toss in another. Should be at least 3 of these things. I'll toss in another cup. What the heck? 1 cup water. 3 1/3 cups of flour. Maybe I tossed in 2 cups. I don't know. This is now, this is starting to look better. Must have only put in 2 cups. Once you've done this thing a little bit, you can always work out. Oh yes, and much better. I put in 3 cups of starter. This starter, by the way, I've got a bit more water in that's what's per usual, because usually with the starter you put in equal weights, so there's less water in, but I always toss in more water. It makes it work better. I give equal volume of both, and that seems to work out. Yeah, that seems to be a dough. I'll turn this thing out over here. Alright, now where are we here? We're somewhere in Calgary. Okay, take this thing over here. This thing back over here. Alright, wipe down the table. Thank you. There I go with our table being wiped down. Completely and totally. Let's be absolutely clean. Hands are clean. We'll wash them up anyway. Take off the ring. Take off the watch. Take off the sweater so we don't get flour all over that. Alright. Washing up the hands. Drying of the hands. Hey, where are we? Okay. Don't really need to flour too much of the table because it's quite a dry dough right now. We'll just knead this baby as best we can. And we'll mess the flour there. Alrighty. More material out of the bowl. Alright. Now somehow we have to turn this into a dough. It's supposed to be quite flaky. It's not that flaky. It's not as good. I've made better stuff before. But what the heck, we'll deal with it. Give me all of this good stuff here. Yeah, nice and sticky. They should actually start to knead together as I've done before. And you just keep kneading it until it turns into a dough. And you knead it quite a bit. And this is now actually working and behaving itself. That's what we want it to do. It's still fairly sticky. You can always knead in more flour. Yeah, this is really sticky. It's definitely going to need more flour. This is quite a wet starter. That's why you need so little water. There. Sorry that the camera doesn't fall over. I'll try and do something about that later. It's a method to keep the dough off your hands, etc. While you remove your rings and watch. Lovely. This is really a nice dough to work with. There we go. Beauty. Should end up picking all of this flour up. Looks like it's done enough. I can't remember if I put in 2 cups of flour or 3. I think I did 3. Might have 4 by now. I don't know. It's just until it starts to look like dough. Doesn't really matter. You can tell how carefully I follow recipes. Get back to me nose in. And it's starting to pick up all the flour. It's still a little sticky. Yeah, it cleans her all up. Just about there. Another handful if you like. That's how to do it. Get those glutens happening. You do it a handful at a time till it gets rid of its stickiness. And then through completely. Sometimes people like to. Okay, Google.
Playing Gordon Lightfoot on Spotify.
Huh? Is my still recording? Yes, okay. It takes quite a bit longer for stuff to rise, so you want it at least double in size. This thing should, in a warm enough place, the sun's not really shining, it's about 16 degrees outside, which, is extremely cold. And so anyway, we'll just leave that, and it'll take about 4 hours, all right, for it to properly rise and double on the first rise. And then it can take as much as 12 hours for your sourdough to rise when it's in the bread pans and making nice loaves out of it. Maybe only 10 hours and stuff like that. Quite often I make this in the evening and I leave it overnight, and by the time it comes in the morning we've got it's risen nicely. You just give it more time. It's not like it actually has yeast in it, which can rise within an hour, sometimes half an hour if it's yeast bread. But this using natural yeast of the air and stuff like that. Anyway, that's kind of how you do it, pretty well from start to finish. I didn't show how to make a starter, but that's pretty well the same as when you take your starter out of the fridge. When you're doing that, it's usually about a third. I usually just about a third of a cup of flour and a third of a cup of water every single, about 3 times a day while you're doing it. It takes about a week to get your starter going. If you're stored in the fridge, like I say, it can take about 3 days to get it back, but it will store in the fridge. My fridge is absolutely full. The container is full. I don't need any more starters. So the starter that I have, I can either make more bread, which is one thing, or, matter of fact, making more bread might be an idea, or make, what are they are, either pancakes or waffles or something like that, and just try and eat it up. Okay, thank you. Back later when it comes down to the thing, you know. Okay, I've taken it out of the, John, he's sensible. Okay, I've taken it out of the bowl. It was twice the size, and I kind of grabbed it and just started kneading it before I realized, oh, I should be making a video of this. All right. It was very sticky. I don't know why, it's still pretty sticky. It's probably because of the wetness of the starter. Well, it doesn't matter, just keep throwing more flour onto it till it gets to basically have the look and feel that you want it to have. It shouldn't be super sticky. It should be like a proper dough. And really, it does take a lot of kneading to get it to happen. So this is the second set of kneading. And the second rise, I mean, we can let it rise again 2 or 3 times if you wish. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to do. I think 2 rises is enough, and we'll make the second rise happen in the bread pan. I'm kind of worried that this thing may stick inside the bread pan. It's not bad. So I'm kneading it now, of course, it becomes more and more sticky. Usually on the second kneading, I don't usually knead bread this much when I'm doing the second kneading, but seems like the first kneading was, maybe I should have added more flour to it. I don't know. You never can know about these. About there. And a loaf out of this baby. Not long enough, huh? Supposed to be about the same size. Not bad. That goes the same size, I guess. That was a little bit bigger. Yeah. Cut her down a bit. Okay, bread pans. Oil, where's the oil? Oil, give me oil. I'm keeping it for oil. Oil what? Or I'll go and get some other oil. Oh, here we go. Again, decent amount of oil in the bread pan. Oops. And pour it into there. It's probably stuck. Yes, it is. Come on. It's supposed to stick like that. Huh. A little oil on top of it. Oh, that's really gotta rise. See that? That one's right. Put some oil on top of it, just for kicks. You know, kicks are for kids. Kids going out looking for kicks. Right. That's got to sit overnight. I'm pretty sure for that to rise enough. Be good enough. So that's what we'll do to it. All right, that's enough of that. Thank you. Be back tomorrow. Okay, here it is next morning. And put these babies here. There's our 2 loaves. Yeah, it's risen enough. I should have had more flour in it so it could eat. See how these babies doing? There's some buns I made from some sticky buns. I don't know, I might put them in a smaller smaller dish. Bake 350, where are we? Yeah, somewhere around there. 350, timer 10 minutes. Okay, that goes beeps and I'll throw it in the oven. Okay, these babies are in the oven. 33 minutes, 350. It's been preheated. I'll put these guys in later. This was, I wonder what to do with that leftover starter. So I just threw some flours at it and whipped it up. It's, I don't have a recipe for it, but these are what's called sticky buns. It's just basically a sort of sauce under there of brown sugar, butter, and golden syrup. You toss that in there, you roll up these things with cinnamon and brown sugar and butter in them and stuff like that. Yeah, and so anyway, that's how that's done. It cooks about the same amount, about 30 minutes at 350. Okay, so we'll cook these babies, we'll cook these little loaves up. They're small loaves, but such is life. Yeah, okay, later. Okay, here we are here. Is that okay? Not leaning up against the kettle. Arr. Do it, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, they're out of the oven. Didn't rise that well, but it rose a heck of a lot more from when it started. Looks like that. There you go. Okay, looks nice. Same thing with the other one. Lines you. Up. Thank you. Like leaving them on their sides. It's a loaf, it's not bad. Maybe I should have sort of put them together. Anyway, that's what they look like. So anyway, there you go. A couple of loaves, and probably should have turned them into one loaf or just made one loaf out of that, as there wasn't much there. So it's up to you how you want to do it. If you just keep doing it, and like I say, you put your starter aside and just keep putting about a third a cup of flour, sometimes half a cup of flour, a third a cup of flour, equal amount of water, or slightly less water. It's equal weights or equal volume. It depends how you feel. And the starter will just grow and evolve arms and walk out of the kitchen or something, unless you keep desperately trying to make bread all the time like crazy just to keep the thing. But you can put it in the freezer, which I've done, and it takes about 3 days to bring it back, which we did, and get her to happen again. It's very active as a starter, and it works great for any whatever thing you got. Okay, thanks for sitting through all this.